Hello, hi, and welcome to Empathic Fire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Sagittarius in August 2020. Hello, Sagittarius. How are you guys doing? I hope that you are doing well. All right, friends, welcome to August. Hopefully, wherever you are in the world, you are safe, happy, and healthy. I'm wishing that for everybody because we are still very much dealing with a global pandemic, still very much needing to practice precautions and be safe with everything that we do. I know a lot of places restrictions are a little relaxed at this point, so wherever you are, Sagittarius, just whatever you're doing, just make sure that you're going about it being very careful with yourself and other people, okay? All right, let's see. General announcements here before we get started. Yes, going live on the channel on 8/8 for Leo's birthday season. Obviously, you're not a Leo's, but if you happen to want to cross-watch for a Leo or just hang out in the chat, go ahead and join me. That'll be at 7 p.m. on August the 8th here on the channel. So feel free to drop by, say hello, just hang out and chill. Totally, everybody's welcome. But it is specifically being held for Leo's birthday season, like I do every month for every sign whose birthday season it is, okay? Other announcement, or well, just a shout out really. Shout out to my subscriber Vanessa. She made me this very cool bracelet while she was on vacation and sent it to me. She's been a lovely friend, a client, as well as a subscriber and supporter here on the channel. And so when you get love in, you should give it back out. That's energy exchange. It's a part of manifesting. It's a part of welcoming abundance into your life. And so I always give a shout out to people when they show support and care towards me. And vice versa. I assume they would do it towards if they did their business out here on YouTube. But Vanessa is not, and not a YouTuber or anything like that. So, anyway, Sagittarius, let's get into it. I have shuffled off camera. That is your main spread there. I will shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Timestamps in the description box if you want to jump ahead. Also down there is the information you need if you want to purchase a personal reading with me. If you have questions before you place a personal order, just go ahead and email me at the same address you see listed down there, and I will answer you as soon as I can. Also down there is the link to my Instagram, EmpathicFire Tarot. Ba-bow. You can see that name again in case you missed it in the opening. If you want to follow me over there, guys, I'm interpreting oracle cards a few times throughout the week. Also sometimes doing some pick-a-card stuff over there, which I think I'm going to do another one of those soon. So feel free to follow me over there if you're interested in seeing me do work with oracle cards specifically, or you just want to continue to support your girl in her small, teeny tiny grind out here in the jungles of the social media. Anyway, guys, let's get into it. I want to see Sagittarius's outcome for August. Please show me Sagittarius's outcome for August 2020. Please show me. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Alright. Only one card came face down, so let's go ahead and flip it now. Alright. And that's... there we go. Sorry guys. This is like the one thing I'm like, particular about is the layout of the cards. I like them to be nice and neat. That looks pretty good. So let's get into it. Sagittarius. Please show me where Sagittarius is in August 2020. Please show me. Sagittarius in August 2020, please show me. Okay. We got there. Oh. They're immediately making me think of the previous reading I did for you guys, which wasn't technically a mid-July. It was like the end of like the final few days of July. But anyway, this card might link back to that reading, which I think was kind of difficult. I think it was about pregnancy and making decisions about pregnancy. I think that was you guys. If it's not you, I apologize and, disregard this. But anyway, you come in with the energy of the Judgment card. Secondary major arcana for Aries, and also sometimes Scorpio, or excuse me, Scorpio. Judgment. Scorpio, thank you. Because Aries secondary major is the Tower. I don't know why I got those mixed up. Okay, so I've said Aries and Scorpio a couple times. If you're dealing with either of those signs and that resonates with you, kudos to you. But it is a general, so it doesn't have to apply in either case. I feel like a judgment, like harsh self-judgment, like with this artwork that's on this card, it feels like looking in the mirror and like being really dissatisfied with who you see or what you see reflected back to you. And it could be down to physical appearance, you know, and not to belittle that or make light of that. That is very significant for many of us. If you don't have confidence, or if you're ashamed or feel somehow not attractive or not pleased with what you see, whether it be based on cosmic or cosmetic things, or, you know, when you see yourself in the mirror, you might see someone who you might deem as like weak or stupid or whatever you might contemplate about yourself. The image of this is really making me think this is a lot of terrible and negative self-judgment, okay, or self-dialogue, right? The criticism is the big part here. Being critiqued could be also what's going on in here. You might feel okay with yourself for the most part, but you could be dealing with people or situations or circumstances that make you feel less than or make you question your own integrity or your own abilities or your own attractiveness or capabilities, your own intellect, whatever. It's a dark energy. Like, this is like giving me like it's like giving me like Buffalo Bill from like Silence of the Lambs. And not like he was, well, I guess he was, because he really didn't like the way he looked, and that's why he was taking women and taking their looks. For those that know that movie, if you don't know that movie, I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's a good one. You should watch it. But it's like that. It's giving me like this creepy stalker. You know, it's dark behind him. Like, the only thing that we see light on is really this guy's face, right? So it's like there's a lot of darkness around you, Sagittarius, or there's a lot of darkness or negative vibe, negative energy surrounding this situation or circumstance. The judgment portion that's relative to traditional tarot interpretation talks about, you know, finalizing something, bringing something back to life, or actually letting it, you know, stay dead and buried in the ground, right? It's about resurrections, or it's about revivals, or a lack thereof, or also sometimes just a desire to have things back the way they were, but actually that might not be feasible or actually recommended, okay? So that might apply to some of your stories. There could be a particular loss or a particular change in your life that you're just like not coping well with, and you wish you could have, like, you wish you had like a reset button. Like, you see how that mirror image is smashed and cracked. You can't really, you know, super glue that and fix it. To repair the damage done by that mirror, or done to that mirror, you would have to replace the entire mirror. There is no, you know, simply putting the pieces back together and so that those cracks don't show. That's like not possible. Or if it is possible, it's usually going to come in the form of replacing the mirror entirely, or doing some, I don't know, maybe there's something on the market that can repair broken mirrors in a way that I'm unaware. But I really think the only way you could do this is to make something entirely new, or rather put something entirely new in its place. And that could be the option, or an option, or that could be what someone is considering, and that is daunting them, you know what I mean? Or I'm getting the sense of like, the reason this guy in this picture cracked this mirror is because he didn't value it, or he didn't value the reflection therein. And so if you were to replace the mirror, he would simply crack it again, or he would smash it again, you know what I mean? So it's almost as if there is a chance to replace something, to revive something, to start over, or replace it with something new that's comparable, I feel that the person who would view it or be the receiver of that new thing, that new mirror, they wouldn't want it anyway. They wouldn't feel worthy of it. They would feel possibly angered by it or disturbed in some way by it, upset by it, and thus they would destroy it again. Or they would, want to not receive it. Okay? Very interesting. And again, they want me to remind you guys, if you didn't see it, this is not me cross-promoting, because I normally don't even cross-promote or even tell you guys to go view old videos. I find people go watch things from 2018, and I'm like, I never said anything about that, but there they go watching it. Good for them. So if you want to go back and watch that one for the end of July for Sagittarius, they keep telling me there might be a message in there for some of you if you didn't see it. Or if you did see it, maybe go back and rewatch it. If you want to. You don't have to, okay? So that's a deep one. That's very deep. And I'm feeling that's like someone's headspace. For the most part. I mean, it is also their action. I do get the sense that someone is like acting, withdrawn. What's that called? Aloof, detached. Someone is, not wanting people to investigate them or look into what's going on with them. Hey, what's going on with you? Are you feeling okay today? Like they don't want to be pried upon or people prying into their inner world. This is the energy of someone who's going through a dark period at this time, and they're not really, they're not seeing a very good reflection of themselves, right? Whether that's because of external influence or totally from an internal place or a mixture of the two, it really doesn't matter. But someone's not appreciating what they're seeing reflected of themselves, whether it's coming from, again, from outside sources or internal sources, okay? What else happens for Sagittarius? Please show me. Okay. Well, there we go. Wow, that's twofer. Okay. So for some of you, this is going to be like, pretty, not very intuitive. It's just like on its face. I see a mother figure that is domineering, and that's affecting whoever this is. It could be you, Sagittarius. It could be the other way around. It's a general. You could be the mother figure or whoever this is, because that's where we're going next. You could be this person, or you could be in the judgment. You know your story better than I do. But above your starting position, you've got the Mother of Air, aka the Queen of Cups, or excuse me, Queen of Swords. I'm sorry. Air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Could be dealing with an air sign, but you don't have to be. This is one of the most pleasant depictions of the Mother of Air, and that's purposeful. This deck has such well-intentioned and very detailed artwork that was selected for each card. I haven't read the entire book, probably won't ever read the entire book, but I know like the choices that this artist made were specific, because that's sort of counter to how she's smiling or smirking there, and her face is very open, even though she's adorned with all this costumes and the hat and I'm assuming the shoulders and all this stuff. She still manages to look both serene and welcoming and pleasant, but then also, I mean, because even look at the style of the hat. It's very militarized, right? It's very militant looking. It's very domineering looking, right? And I think that's what's going on here. I think you're dealing with a person, or there's someone in this storyline who has a face of pleasantry, or has aspects of themselves that seem inviting, but at the same time they're very stern. They're very sharp and swift with their words, or swift with like even a look, like like when and I'm sure there's like tons of memes, but I'm sure many of us can like even have been witness to this or experience this when you're growing up as a kid, how sometimes your mom or an aunt or a grandmother or some woman in your life, or even a father figure or a male figure in your life, could just look at you a certain way, and like you get chills in your body. You're like, oh shit, I fucked up. It's like that. And I said, I used that word criticism before. So this Mother of Air, regardless of their sign, regardless of their gender or age, it doesn't matter, is somebody who demands respect, but possibly seldom gives respect. I get the sense of somebody who it's a my way or the highway. When I say jump, you say how high. Very domineering. very in control, but maybe in mixed company, maybe when they're public facing, they put on smiles, they're very charming, they're very pleasant to be around, but possibly behind closed doors, they're hell on wheels, or there's some type of megalomaniac. You know what I mean? There's something about this person where I respect her, but I'm also scared of her. I respect and I love her, but I also know she doesn't always respect or love me, or at least that's my perception. Like, I'm feeling presented with this person's energy. Like, I feel this person's energy coming towards me. And if I say her, again, it's because there's a female on the card and it says mother. It can be a male. Okay, so please don't hold too tightly onto the gender of whatever I say here. Okay. So relating back to this judgment card where your reading started, I feel as though some, if not a great portion of what disturbs this energy or disturbs the person who's in this energy of the judgment comes from this mother of air. I feel an invasion, and I use that word purposely because, again, with that cap, that looks very militarized. It looks very, this woman is she's got like an army of people behind her that will do her bidding. And what do you do with armies, or what do you do when you're someone who has that type of power? You can choose to invade on another nation or another tribe or another whatever. You can do hostile takeovers if we're talking about this in the business world. And I feel that this person has done or would do that towards whoever exists here in the judgment card, or at least that's the dynamic I feel that exists between them primarily at this moment, is that I'm in control of you, or I have certain influence over you, judgment energy person, whoever exists down here, and I'm going to use whatever I have at my disposal to infiltrate your inner space. So how does that translate in like layman, regular non-military, hostile actions? Basically, this could be someone who is an overbearing parent, or this could be someone who's an overly micromanaging boss, someone who calls you on your phone when you're at home before you even have fully woken up and dusted the crust out of your eyes. They're already emailing you, already calling your cell phone. Hey, before you come to the office, make sure you have XYZ, blah 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 blah. And they're just like on your ass about making sure that you do it right, because yes, that's how we go back to it, because the other part is this word that I saw. This is going hand in hand. This person, the word right there, we're going to talk about that card whenever we get to it, but the word perfection is there, and that's what this person is. They seek perfection, and that is an impossibility in the world. The world that we live in is one that does not have perfection, and when people seek perfection, they are automatically out of balance. So this person doesn't have balance. This person doesn't have boundaries, okay? Or the boundaries that they have encompasses the boundaries of others, meaning you might have an individual sense of self coming from the judgment card, or you're considering yourself, because there's this inner reflection that's going on down here in this judgment card. But because you live within her kingdom walls, or you're in this person's employ, as I was just saying with that example, because you work for this person, you don't have your own boundaries. Your life is not your own. Your time is not your own. The things that you choose to do are a reflection back on her. And if you are reflecting something back on her, reflection again with this mirror image, if you're reflecting something back on her that is not perfect, you are now in violation. You are now going to be judged. You are now going to be criticized. You get me? Wow. Sagittarius, who is this person? And if it's you, it's you. That's and hopefully you would own that shit. But a lot of you, this is someone outside of you who affects you in this way, or is affecting someone very close to you, and you might be watching from a secondary position. But I feel as though this mother of air is also like kind of detached from reality in some form or fashion. Their expectations are that of perfection, meaning unrealistic, meaning unstable. There is no such thing as perfection. It doesn't exist in this world. Therefore, you're seeking something, or you're performing something, you're behaving in a way that you think embodies perfection when that cannot be embodied here on earth, right? So this person has a certain narcissistic tendency. Not narcissistic like in the way that we've been using it lately in the lexicon. Narcissistic as in when they look in the mirror, as opposed to whoever's in the judgment card, they see perfection. The person who's looking at themselves in the mirror in the judgment energy, they don't see perfection. Not anywhere near close to that. They see all the flaws, all the problems. They see all the ways in which they betray themselves or they allow people to betray them. This is a... Blah. But if you put a mirror in front of the mother of air, they would see perfection. They would see nothing wrong with who they are. So again, that allows the boss to be calling you at like 4:30 in the morning or 5 in the morning when you just woke up, leaving you voicemail after voicemail while you're in the shower getting ready for the day, telling you to remember this for the presentation, telling you to remember to wear, when you come into the office, Sagittarius, make sure that you're not wearing your hair up. That just looks really immature, and that's not the type of image we're trying to portray here in the office. So if you're going to have your hair up, make sure it's in a bun and not in a ponytail and da-da-da-da-da. Like all this shit. And I'm like, what? As the outside person, I'm like, who is this? I could never work a job like that. I would quit. Or I would get myself fired because I'm not going to be talked to that way. And I'm not going to be demanded upon in that way. But so many people across so many industries, because of so many reasons, will endure that type of treatment. It's not fair. It's not correct. Possibly not even legal. or at least it's not, HR approved. But it happens every day. And this mother of air sees nothing wrong with it. It's within this person's purview to be that way. It's within this person's right. It's within this person's goal or the goals that they have for their company, the goals they have for the family, the goals they have for you. And again, this can apply to like a personal relationship where I'm sensing someone who is an overbearing parent, doesn't have to be a female, doesn't have to be a mother, but somebody who is just constantly on their children to be the best and do the best or show up in a certain way. And that might not be the natural inclination of someone. Make sure when you come over to the house for the family dinner this weekend that you wear some nice clothes. Why? I don't know what it is, and I hate to make it like a material thing, but because of the reflection, I'm sensing something about the physical body or the way that people show up in the world dressed in certain clothes or whatever they have in their life in terms of material possessions. I feel the mother of air. Yes. Again, look how she's dressed. She is snazzy as snazzy can be. All the jewels and the accents and the accessories that are dripping down from that crown. That is also a one. Like if that had existed, I would want it. I wouldn't wear it, but I would want it. But she's very showy. She announces herself by this appearance, and that's very much not what I would normally associate with the Queen of Air or Queen of Cups. Oh my God, Queen of Cups again. Queen of Swords. But it's here. And someone is like, stand up straight. Tuck your shirt in. Which is, basic. But it's like you're talking to somebody who's in their 30s or their 40s. This is not a helicopter parent of like a 9-year-old. This is a helicopter parent of another adult. Someone who has been living their own life for a long time now. And it's exhausting for this person in the judgment area. Or judgment card, right? So what else happens for Sagittarius? Because I think you get it. This person, either they subconsciously, I feel like most subconsciously know that they might be a little off kilter, but consciously puts forth this effort to ignore that. This person suppresses any type of self-criticism, any type of self-awareness, hence the narcissistic element that I'm feeling. Not only do they look at themselves and see perfection or see someone who is so close to perfection, they also look in the mirror and see someone who has nothing to answer for. They've done nothing wrong. Okay? What else is happening for Sagittarius? Please show me. That's so funny. Because again, when I left this card, my eyes fell here, but then I also, out of the corner of my eye, so to speak, I saw the word perfection. And then I'm like, I think we're going here. And I'm hovering over perfection. But then I also see this word pop out to me over here, illusion. So this person's line, Mother of Air, is dealing with perfection and issues of illusion. Those things go hand in hand because I keep telling you, or I keep telling whoever needs to hear it, perfection doesn't exist in this world. You might as well forget it. Okay. So what else happens? Yes. Right. Yes. Perfection, aka the Four of Fire, aka Four of Wands. Now, Four of Wands traditionally in tarot talks about happy homes, building a happy home, building up stability and security regarding a home situation, regarding intimate or familial relationships, and it being really a copacetic affair. That's like the backdrop, or at least that's like the script of this. That's interesting. That's the script. What are you actually going to shoot in terms of a movie? What is actually going to be recorded and displayed in a movie theater is totally different, you know? So I think the intention, the wish, the desire is for happy home, connectivity, feeling, feeling like you're sharing in kinship and love and on the same page with whoever this is, your boss, your children, your parents, whatever. There is that desire. You know, you see this fire dancer here, you know, doing her thing. And it feels very artsy or artistic. It feels very, okay. So like, I don't know about you, but I think many of us have done this. You might be watching someone who's like a fire dancer or like a hula dancer or a skateboarder or some other type of athlete. You might be watching a cooking show. You might be watching, you know, Bob Ross doing his paintings and painting his happy little trees. When we watch people do things, I think most of us in the back of our minds at some point go, I think I could do that. I could probably do that. It looks pretty easy. I think I could do that, right? So similar to this fire dancer, you know, some of us might see, you know, I've seen videos of that stuff, and I'm like, I don't sit there and think, oh, I could do everything, but I'm like, oh, if they can do it, it must be fairly easy. Like there's this idea that to perform something, a lot of times people get this idea of, well, that must be easy, or it's not as hard as it looks. Bullshit. It's very hard to do this or hula dance or be a snowboarder or be a professional athlete or be a painter. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes crafting, it takes perfection. And I should quote that, perfection, okay? Because there is no such thing. But it's this idea of perfecting your craft, right? We use that terminology, or we use that turn of phrase, to perfect your craft. And I think that's what is going on for this mother of air. This person wants to perfect, wants to have something that looks incredibly easy, but is actually very hard. So in the back of this person's mind, whoever it is, they want their life, their business, their relationships to look cookie cutter, easy peasy lemon squeezy. They want people, because also if you watch like a fire dancer or anybody else doing the things that I mentioned, there is this like, you captivate the audience, right? You hold the attention of onlookers and you're admired for what you're doing. This person wants that. So if they want a business, or they want to run a successful business, or they want to run a business that's known for doing XYZ in the industry, even if it's some shit, like this could be like nonprofit work. It doesn't even have to be based on material gain or material wealth. It could be, we want to be the best homeless shelter in the county or in the city. We want to serve as many people. We want people to choose our shelter over every other shelter. That's a strange thing to want perfection or to be viewed and admired for. I mean, the purpose is to help those disenfranchised people, right? Not to look good in a news story. It helps your cause to do that, but that shouldn't be your primary objective. This person's primary objective is to have things look good. That's it. So that's why it's a comb your hair, wear it in a bun, don't wear it in a ponytail, or make sure that you're wearing these shoes, don't show up late, don't do this, don't do that. It's the appearance of the thing, seeking perfection in a situation that, or excuse me, in an environment that is crucial to stability, or is focused on solid foundations, Four of Wands, Four of Fire, right? So if this was a family dynamic and you happen to be the black sheep of the family, when it comes to taking those family portraits that we all used to take when Sears was a thing, right? This person is like, everybody's wearing a red sweater. And you're like, I hate red. It does nothing for my complexion. Everybody's wearing a red sweater, Susan. Yeah, I don't own any red sweaters. Well, guess what? We're in Sears, so go upstairs and buy a sweater and bring your ass back down here to the photo shoot, because everybody's wearing a red sweater in the family photo for the Christmas card. Go do it. And Susan begrudgingly drags herself upstairs and buys the red sweater, even though she looks terrible in red, because this person said it's gonna be a red sweater. You see what I mean? That's perfection, or fixation on perfection. Fixated on an image of things being A-okay, of things looking so simple. Oh, and that could be like, people coming over to the house, or people who received the Christmas card. Oh, it just looks so easy. Oh, not people would say it looks so easy. You guys just look so happy. And oh my God, you guys are matching sweaters. And oh my God, that must have been such a fun day for you. And this person is going to say, yeah, it was a fun day. Susan, staring at herself in the cracked mirror, is like, that shit wasn't easy. I went and cried in the bathroom for 15 minutes because I really hate wearing red. And then I went and I bought a red sweater. And then this person pulled me to the side. If you don't smile for this photo, if you don't get yourself together, you don't go back in that restroom. And like, after a chastising, Susan pulled herself together and went back in and smiled for the camera. It takes 2 seconds to smile for a camera to give off the impression that you're having a good time. That's why I don't like taking photos, because I'm not good at that. People tell me all the time, oh, Jay, you should take more pictures. Why? I want to take a picture when I'm happy, and most of the times I'm just like, I'm just very like, I'm okay. Me and photos just don't agree, because I personally, on a personal level, I can see, and it's probably the empathic part of me, I can see when a person is smiling in a photograph and they don't want to be smiling. Not all times. It's not like it's a huge ability of mine, but I'm just like, you didn't want to take that photo. You're just taking that photo because of XYZ. And again, it's a family card. It's for the Christmas card. It's for a birthday. It's for a wedding. It's for this. It's for that. It's the company photo. It's going to be released to the press so that we get good PR, so that people come to the business and patronize us. And it's just like, if this person doesn't want to be in the photo, don't let them. No, but everybody's got to be in the photo. Do they? Do they? This person doesn't want to hear that. This person will not be receptive to that energy or receptive to that criticism. And that's the thing about this person. Their criticism is a one-way street. They can criticize you, her, him, them, all of those people over there. But one person says anything bad about them, it's a no-show. It's a no-go. It's not going to happen. They will not hear it. They will not hear it. 7 of water, aka 7 of cups. Illusion. I feel that this person lives sort of kinda in a fantasy world. They are the maker and the creator of their story. It's almost like, okay, it's like playing make-believe when you're a kid, or playing, kids when they're kids. And I don't know about you, I still sort of play this game, and I run, made-up scenarios with friends of mine. But when a kid is playing, they're usually imagining something, right? So they're in the backyard, they're out in the playground, they're playing in the driveway, whatever. Oh, I'm the captain of this vessel, and you are an invader from planet Glorblop. And get on, it's just like, there is no planet Glorblop. You're sitting in the middle of the street. You're not doing shit, but playing a game, right? But when you're a child, it's very cute. It's what's expected of you. And it shows, something healthy about you. The adjustment that has to happen from a psychological perspective as people grow up is, you can still be imaginative and be creative thinking, but you really shouldn't walk around telling people, I'm like Captain so-and-so of this vessel, and I'm going to take care of all the invading people from Gleep Glorp, or whatever the hell I said. If you go saying that shit when you're an adult and you say it regularly, people are going to think you're crazy. Now, why do I say that? This person, no offense, might be a little crazy. Because in spite of someone running off to the bathroom crying to compose themselves, somebody smashing a mirror in secret because they have a poor self-outlook because of the way this person treats them, or the way this person criticizes them, or the way this person holds certain expectations over them, they don't know that that's the reality. All they know is the photo looks good, your hair looks good, you lost enough weight, now you can come to the... Oh, bitch, who said that? Somebody said that? Okay, I just got a hit of somebody being told, you have to lose X amount of weight. If you don't, you're not allowed to go on this vacation. You're not allowed to go to this photo shoot. You're not allowed to show up to dinner. Oh, listen, this was not my experience. I don't know anybody with this experience, but I bet money, hard money, that has been someone's experience. That could, let me tell you, not a doctor, not out here diagnosing people, but if you had a parent, particularly a mother in this case, because most likely it was a mother, or I shouldn't say most likely, in many cases it would be a mother. It could have been a father, but you could have been a teenager, a young person, male or female, it doesn't matter, who was told, no dessert for you, you got too much weight, and you go on a family vacation. And, a lot of these family vacations, there's like buffets or like little cruises that you go on when you're, a teenager or whatever. And your parent like forbids you from coming down to dinner because you've picked up too much weight. So you stay in the hotel room or you stay in the cabin, right? And everybody else is at dinner taking photos with the little Kodak disposable cameras at the time back in the 90s. This is like somebody who's like in my age bracket that I'm channeling this for. And you're back in the cabin crying, or you're back in your room sulking, listening to your Walkman, listening to your CD player, listening to your iPod, the first iPod, that big chunky thing, right? And I get the sense that in that moment, you go to the mirror and you're like slamming the mirror, you're crying into the mirror, you're cursing yourself because you don't fit this person's idea of perfection, which is an illusion because it's not in reality. And you are so hurt by this person. Like, obviously that's not everybody's story, but you see what I mean? This person doesn't know the ramifications of the things that they've said and done over their lifetime and how it is particularly affecting someone close to them. A child, a friend, a brother, a sister, a parent. That would be interesting for a child to chastise or criticize a parent, but that could happen, in different dynamics or under different details. But this person lives in a place of fantasy. They think that they're the captain of the ship, again with that damn hat looking very militarized. That looks like a captain's hat. They're the captain of the ship. They're the captain of the vessel. Everybody must do what they say. That's an illusion. That's a mirage. What do we see? These two camels kicking it in the desert and a bunch of hills in the or in the background. Those are mirages. They don't exist. This person and their will to control, their will to influence, their will to have it their way is an illusion, or at least it's an unfair illusion because it is affecting other people. An adult, thank you, going back to what I was saying about the children and playing imaginary games. The marker of an adult is to know when to use creative ideas and to know when that type of thinking is appropriate and when that type of thinking is interfering with or is a deterrent from reality. In reality, if your child or your friend or your employee picks up a little bit of weight, is it like a crime to be fat? As a fat person asking, I'm not asking for personal reasons. I'm literally asking. It's not a crime. There are all kinds of implications. There are all kinds of things that we could debate and we could discuss. But is it unlawful? No. Like, what is the gripe here? And it comes from this person having an illusion, wanting a fantasy in their mind to be true. I want all of my family photos to be of people who look a certain way. I don't want you to be too fat. I don't want you to be too dark or too pale. I want you to be just right, just tan enough. I want your hair right. I want you to wear that fucking red sweater like I told you, whatever. That's an illusion. You cannot dictate to people, especially where I think we are in modern times, in the current energy, is that this is an adult. This is not your child. This is an adult. Or this is someone who's on your level, a peer, a cohort, a co-worker, or an employee. Your employee is not bound to you to do your bidding at 5 o'clock in the morning on their time. Jesus Christ, what is this? Who lives like this? No offense to you or anybody else, but who lives like this? And Sagittarius, if you're in this story, wherever you are, I know that this is a fight against your nature. The nature of Sagittarius is freedom. Okay? Ninth house, ruled by Jupiter, expansion. To not live within the bounds. Not to be radicalized and being contrary for the sake of being contrary. No. But to always constantly be reconsidering or being open-minded and willing to build upon what is already known. To allow whatever beliefs you hold to come under review at a future time. This person is not that way. This person has had the same standards for decades. Years, decades. This person has always had the same approach. It's not healthy. What did I just say about development? If you're a child and you have an active imagination, by the time you're an adult, it is typically viewed as not so good to live in a fantasy as opposed to reality. And even then, children turn that shit off too. They get hungry. And I've been captain so-and-so and I've been fighting the bleep blorps and the bloop blops all the afternoon. I want to go inside and have dinner. So I'm going to leave my captain shit on the outside, on the pavement, and I'm going to take myself inside and get some dinner. Kids turn it off. This person, look. What else happened? Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Your imagery has been so on point. Okay, so. 7 of Air. AKA 7 of Swords. Look at that imagery. Now, that's so interesting. In this moment, I haven't held this card up to my face, and I'm only looking at it at the on the screen there. That tiny bird appears to be feeding a very larger bird, which, based on what I was just ranting about, if this is some parent and child dynamic, or superior, let's say it that way, superior, I don't want to say inferior, so let's say a hierarchical relationship, someone who has authority over the other, right? In this imagery, based on size, because that's how we go in nature, right? It would seem the small bird, the child, the person on the lower end of this, on the hierarchical ladder, is feeding the larger. You see what I mean? Oh, Lord. Now, let me take a closer look at this. That's what it looks like. And that would make sense. Because this is the card of, it says deception, right? So what do we normally expect? We normally expect the mother bird, the larger one, to feed the smaller one. That's normally how it goes. But look what this is. The smaller bird, the younger one, the child, is feeding the parent. The word deception, 7 of Swords. So that's a manipulation. This is a codependent relationship. Okay? Does not have to be parent and child. Like I said, can be employee versus employer or whatever. Could even be amongst spouses or friends. It doesn't have to be one is older, one is smaller, one is older, one is younger, anything like that. It can be, you both could be the same age or, again, cohorts, peers. But there is this energy of the bigger one, Mother of Air, being fed by the littler one, Judgment card. The person whose whose vision of self, understanding of self, point of view, perspective of self is cracked, is damaged, is not necessarily the healthiest. All right? That person feeds into that person. They give to that person, defer to that person, do the bidding of that person. This fat bird, oversized for the size of that nest, taking up way too much real estate, is being told, or tells the small bird, go do this, go fetch me food. You're big enough to do it yourself. But I, the littler bird, am in service to you. Listen, codependent. Now, why is it deception, or how can we get to all right, so this is deception because it's not true. It's not how things are supposed to work. It's not normal for bosses to call you in off hours, especially if you're an hourly worker, even if you're salary though. Even if you're contractual, whatever your status is, there are certain limitations. I said that before. Boundaries. This person doesn't understand boundaries. Your fat ass bird is not, you as a fat bird, fat as in big, I shouldn't say fat. You as a bigger bird don't belong in that size of a nest. That size nest belongs to that size of a bird. Your boundaries are flipped, or your boundaries, you don't understand. You are not supposed to be there. So this person doesn't understand. You're not supposed to call somebody in the off hours when they're away from their workstation or away from their job. I'm on my personal time. This person also. This person also would use details against you. This happens a lot. And this is not, specific to this story. This is just a flagrant disregard for people. This happens a lot. And okay. And no shade to anybody, but there's a favoritism, or there isn't. Oh, I shouldn't say favoritism. There is a leaning in workplaces that gives deference to parents over single people in terms of time off, in terms of declaring an emergency, a personal emergency or a family emergency. The request for personal time, not just vacation time, like I just need a day off, right? There's this idea that because you're single or childless or both, your time is somehow less valuable or less strained, or it's more permissible that people ask things of you than they ask of people who are either married or committed or with children or that have children or both. That's stupid in all terms, but particularly in terms of employment. Am I not a worker? Do I not do my job? Am I not entitled to have time off? Because that person over there has 4 kids, their time off means more than my time off? That doesn't make sense. But that's sort of like ingrained in a lot of people, socially speaking, right? So not to politicize anything and not to go off too much on a tangent, but that's also kind of what's here. If this person knows that you're single and or you have no children, they call you on your off time and invade your personal time and break those boundaries. And hell, even if they do know you have kids, they might do it just the same, or that you're married, they might do it just the same. But because I don't like them, and you probably don't like them either. They are the trouble is because being an empathic person, I can feel from where this person is sitting, from where they're standing, nothing is wrong. They're acting within their right. They're acting, quote unquote, normally. They don't and that's the thing about a narcissist. They don't know that they're abnormal. They don't know that the way that they behave is impactful negatively most of the time on other people and themselves. They don't know that they lack genuine relationships. They don't know that they have relationships that are based purely on power dynamics and hierarchy and not on actual authentic connection. They think the way that they connect to people is authentic. And seven of swords, not true. Not true. Okay? So again, because you showed up, let's say, going back to that whole family dynamic and the Christmas card, let's say whoever you are, Susan, Bobby, Tiffany, Rashida, I don't care who you are. Let's say you constantly, from the time you were a child to up until December 2019, you have taken the family Christmas photo every year. Let's say you did that. That to this person is proof that you love them, proof that you love the family, proof that you feel a part of the family, proof to them that things are A-okay. And it's not. It is fucking not. And that, it's not. But this person doesn't see that. Your participation is your approval. Your participation shows your agreement that everything is copacetic. We are the perfect family. We are the perfect business. We are the perfect marriage. We are the perfect whatever. False, false, false. You know that. They don't know that. Wow. What else happens? Jesus. Temperance. So this is for you. Whoever this is, it doesn't, I'm mostly treating this as this is the Sagittarius' experience, that they're the one who's over here in the judgment energy. But because it's a general, I know damn well a lot of you are dealing with a Sagittarius who is like this. So, okay, hi cross watcher, put yourself in this position if it applies. Now, temperance is available, or necessary, I should say. Temperance, major arcana right there for Sagittarius, my bad. So definitely for many of you Sagittarius, this is you. And you need healing. Now this I'm taking, very interestingly, this image is giving me like guru, yogi vibes. So some of you might be practicing in the spiritual arts, practicing yoga, getting down with some meditation, getting down with some regression sessions or whatever the hell you're doing, Reiki if you're into that, whatever. And if it doesn't have to be, esoteric or, non-traditional, it could be very much, you're going down to your Catholic church to mass every day it's possible. You're crossing yourself 25 times a day, whatever your practice is. I feel a heavy connection in trying to understand yourself or understand your experience from a higher perspective. Okay. And again, that's ninth house. That's you. Okay. Philosophies of life, religious philosophies, spiritual philosophies, in some cases, like even dabbling. Oh yeah, because that would be kind of, I forget it. I think psychology, I forget where psychology is, which house it is, but I am getting this vibe of like exploring psychological patterns or insight into your situation. Okay. Trying to understand it again from this higher perspective, no matter what avenue you take, no matter what school of thought you begin to explore in, that is your goal, or that is maybe not your goal. That is where you find yourself, or that's where you're going to start to find some type of movement away from all this shit we were talking about, if not in particular away from this specific person, because they have a hell of a grip or a hell of a what's this, pulsating, like they reverberate throughout your life, even okay, thank you. Man, tell me about it. I know about it. This person, let's say you've, in your adult life, if this was someone that you're related to, you stepped away from them, family member, my aunt, my cousin, my big brother, whoever. You stepped away from this person. You don't really talk to them that much. There's still this pulsating rhythm, pattern, or regular influx of their energy or presence into your life. So you might stop talking to them, or you might not interact with them very often, but someone else in your family talks about them, brings them up, tells you what's going on in the family. So it's like you let it be or you step away, but they still find a way to come back and influence you in some type of way. And I've been through that a few times. And it stopped happening in my life. And I'm not a Sagittarius, and I'm not trying to say this is my story, because really it's not. Not at all. Not even close. But there was a person, and I'm just like, no, I'm done with that. I'm done with this. This is not healthy for me. It's not getting me what I want. And, whatever my reasonings and whatever I said to that person. And for a while, they persisted. Tell Jay, I said so-and-so. I received the message. I'm irked by the message. Because I said I don't want to be involved. But here comes, they're still sending me their energy through other people. Tell Jay I was thinking about her. Don't tell Jay shit. Right? Not saying that should be your reaction, but that's sort of like what's going on here. You're seeking solace. You're seeking respite. You're seeking some type of peace and balance. And just when you get it, here they come again. Here comes a message by so-and-so, like some third party is messaging you. Or maybe they message you directly. Maybe you left this person in terms of business, in terms of employment, in terms of a relationship, whatever. Months or weeks go down the line. And then they hit you up, slide into them DMs. Hey, Sagittarius, I was thinking about you. And, nobody ever really, ran errands for me the way you did. And if you're ever looking for a job, I know, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, no. Working for you was one of the worst things I've ever done in my life. Or it was the most traumatic things I've ever gone through in my life. Whatever your reasoning. That is where you're trying to be. Away from that bullshit. This person, as is the way of a narcissist, doesn't want to see you fly the coop, right? Doesn't want to see you leave the nest, right? But it's happening, or it happened. And that could be what you're making a judgment call on. And, if you love this person, which is very possible, especially with family ties or romantic ties, or even, platonic relationships, you could care very much for this person. And I relate, again, with that person who I don't speak to anymore. You can love someone, or you can remove yourself from a person that you love, even though a lot of your interactions were kind of not that great. A lot of your history with this person has a lot of strife, has a lot of trauma and drama in it, has a lot of contention in it, has a lot of heartache for you. For those where the story was your parents or whoever was so overbearing and they criticized you and they made you feel awful. And for God's sakes, okay? And they're like right back into that story. I see it again. Someone is ostracized from the family. Stay in the room. Stay back at the hotel. We're going to go hiking or we're going to go sightseeing. You're too fat to be seen in the photos. Your hair is too straggly or stringy or frizzy to be, oh, you don't look good, so step out of the photo, right? That gave somebody a fucking complex to the point where maybe somebody dealt with bulimia or anorexia. Straight up. Okay? If that's the facts, right? If that is factual, in some sense, it would be, it's deeply, like I said, there's a psychological, spiritual, and philosophical higher perspective you're trying to gain. Because how could I have love for this person? Some of you might be asking yourselves, or someone might be asking themselves, why do I love this person even though they've hurt me so badly? It's one of life's great mysteries, right? Or not even a mystery, but like that's a hell of a quandary for most people. Because I've been through it too. Why do I still love this person? They weren't so nice to me a lot of the times. Over the majority of my life, not always pleasant interactions. Hence, I don't want to interact with that person anymore. But I still have love for them. That's complex human emotions. And I myself am still working on that. And that's what I see here with the Temperance card for you guys. You're working on it. And that pairs well, or excuse me, maybe not pairs well, but that definitely informs this issue of judgment. I told you in the beginning, it's either laying something to rest or revitalizing something, bringing it back from the dead, so to speak, okay? Oh boy, Sagittarius. Outcome. 8 of Air, aka 8 of Swords. In this deck, it's called Interference. So it feels like, pardon me for crunching on ice and taking a drink, sorry. It feels like you're still a bit discombobulated over this entire situation in this relationship and how you connect to this person and what the significance of that is and what choices you should be making, what decisions you should take going forward. In some of your cases, you feel still very tied to this person. I did mention the word codependent a couple of times. I did say this person was a narcissist. Narcissists thrive off of connection with other people. That's how they survive, right? So they might need you or other people to survive, right? So they're not easily going to let you leave them or walk away or, ice them out or leave them unblocked. They will find some way to communicate with you. They will find some way to find a route into your life, okay? I'm not sensing that this person is necessarily dangerous, but if you know for sure they are, please take precautions, okay? But for the most part, I just get that this person is invasive in your life and likes to cause, subconsciously, they cause a lot of interference in your life, where you might feel you're on this road to being more clear-headed about something, and you might feel all the more ready to face certain complications in your life or certain difficulties in your life, or you're making headway in those areas. And you're finding some type of peace and solace and respite from whatever difficulty they've put you through or some other type of stress that's in your life. Here they come and they throw a monkey wrench in just by saying hello to you or just by checking up on you. Hi, it's me, Diane. I just wanted to see how you were. Get off my phone, Diane. I personally right now, I'm on vacation from work. I'd be damned if my boss were to call me on vacation. I'd be damned. I wouldn't stand for that. But somebody does, or somebody has in the history of this relationship. This person has encroached on boundaries, and when they do that, that's an interference. You feel stuck. You feel put in a corner. You feel as if you have no way of saying no to them. Nah, man. Don't like that. Don't like that. So you got to handle that in whatever way you see fit, okay? Your overall energy is the 7 of Fire, aka 7 of Wands, bravery. So that's kind of what I'm feeling. And it's not, look at that imagery. Perfect. It's not raging is the word I was going to use. So what do we see? We see two firemen, working this hose, dealing with some type of emergency, yeah, but it's not clear. Like it looks most like dust or smoke. It doesn't look like fire, right? So I don't feel, Sagittarius, you're doing things in a very bombastic way. I don't think that you're doing things or approaching this situation with like as much brazen, fiery passion that fire signs are known to have. I think you're approaching it in a very technical way. Because I'm sure this is some type of technique of firefighters, to have two men on a hose or two firefighters on a hose and approaching a fire in a particular way. This is a technical job. You don't just say today you want to be a fireman and then tomorrow you're going to be fighting a fire. There's all kinds of coursework, or you have to go through all kinds of training. You have to learn the equipment. There's like a technicality to it, or specific skills you must have in order to face or in order to have that career, to have that job, right? So similarly, you have to have certain skills, you have to have certain insight and information on your side to make a firm stand against all of this. I feel you're working on that at this moment, or you will be soon, or whoever this is. Sagittarius, if you're watching this, some of you are that mother of air, and you know it. And, and I'm not saying that to challenge you. Maybe this is insight to you. I don't know. But, yeah, we're just going to leave it at that because we could go on forever. Sagittarius, that is your reading for August. If you like this, if you have anything here that resonated with you, hit the like button. Feel free to share a comment down below. You guys know I love to read those things. It helps me as a reader know, that that I'm doing a good job, basically. If you want to share the video, let other people know you like watching my stuff, that'd be super cool. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. That would be amazing. Sagittarius, I'm going to be back very soon giving the mid-August readings. Like I said, I will go live for Leo on the 8th. If you want to hang out with me, sit in the chat for a little while that day, feel free to do so. Yeah, and if you want a personal reading, that information again is down in the description box, okay? Sagittarius, I thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Take care. Bye.